Hello, my friends. Happy day to you whenever you are watching this, whether it's live with me now or watching it by video later. Welcome. I hope you're glad you're here and you come away with ideas. Today's projects are using a new, not a new stamp set, I should say, a Goldie Oldie called Nature's Prints. And it is in the main catalog, so the one with the rainbowy cover, and it's on page 24. So Nature's Prints was a suite last year with matching paper and all that, but the stamp set has carried over, and I am having so much fun with it for fall. It just really comes alive in the fall. My favorite thing about the suite, though, is not the images, but the wording. The wording is just great. You're on my mind. I use that constantly. Heartfelt thank you. Hello there. Best wishes and happy thoughts. Just really good sayings that I use quite a bit, especially the "you're on my mind." So I wanted to do some fall cards with this because this is where the set really shines, and I came up with what I thought was kind of a sophisticated color combo, and it uses some colors that maybe are not getting the love in your library. It uses Blackberry Bliss, so our darkest purple. It uses a retired color, Rich Razzleberry, which I'm sure you all stocked up on, right? Before it went bye-bye. And it uses Cajun Craze, our really dark, dark coppery rust color. So I love that color combo, and that's what we're going to play with today. So I have Blackberry Bliss, Cajun Craze, and Crumb Cake ink pads out. I have a card base of Blackberry Bliss. I have a step down, the matte size 4 by 5 1/4 of Cajun Craze. And then I have a little strip 2 by 5 1/4 Cajun Craze. And then pieces for our focal point, which I'll give you the measurements for later. And then white, basic white, step down again so that it is matted with the Cajun Craze, and then put on our card base. Okay, so we've got those pieces, and this is what we're going to make. Cool! It's a fancy fold and a gift card holder. Isn't that cool? Now, don't bother trying to read the numbers on here. I used this gift card a long time ago, but it fits perfectly in the front of the card. Very safe and secure in there, and it's just a beautiful card that fits in a regular envelope. And then I made an easy version too to help us get the paper pattern right. So let's learn how to make this today. Let's start by just making the pattern paper first. So I'm going to cover up my table because we were going to stamp all the way off our paper to make it look like it was patterned all the way out to the edges. So I'm going to start with my largest images in my, whoops, fell right off the block. I really ought to have a bigger block out for this, but they are all in use on other projects at the moment. There we go, press the dot button. So I'm going to start with Blackberry Bliss, my darkest image and my biggest color. Kind of randomly stamping that. Get some leaves. I already got a smudge. We are off to a great start this morning. Okay, so that's my dark color. Then my boldest color, which is Cajun Craze. I'm just going to fill in the pattern here. Oh, phooey! Well, that happens, doesn't it? We are just going to work with it. Stamp, and I'm gonna leave that alone maybe. Yeah, it's not too bad. I've had worse. I've definitely had worse. Okay, but we will work to cover that up. Okay, so that's all for Cajun Craze. Sorry, you know what I'll do so that I stay in camera frame is tape my paper here so I know to work up here where you guys are watching. All right, then Crumb Cake. Stamp some background interference. I love this stamp. It's like a splatter stamp, but with really big splats. Okay, so I stamp it full strength several times, and then stamping off several times too. So we get a whole muted background. It kind of draws everything together, makes it into a pattern rather than just random images, flat stamped, right? Then I've got this little flower, you know, and by the time we got everything else on there, that hardly makes any difference at all. So I'm just going to leave it. There we go. All right, so we're just making our own background paper, right? So for this card, that's all that takes. Background paper, a strip with a sentiment, and some embellishments. I keep my sympathy cards really simple because it's not about me or my fabulous techniques. It's about the expression of condolences and support. And so I tend to keep my sympathy cards quite simple and usually nature-based too, because that's just comforting. Nature's comforting. So yeah. Oh, the last thing I did to this is I took my blending brush that I've been using for my orange colors, mostly like petal pink, which is actually a peachy color, and I just pulled some of that extra ink on there. I didn't even ink it. This is all just leftover ink. And look at how that draws it all together too. That really turns it into a piece of pattern paper rather than just a piece of paper with stamping on it. Okay, so that's our easy one, but we will take this messed up one that I did and turn it into our gift card holder. Get rid of my table paper. So the first thing we need to do then is score so that we've got our gift card holder in our regular size card base. I love that this doesn't take any extra cardstock at all to make this. It just requires a regular card base. So I'm going to score it at 4 1/4, which is our regular, I almost cut it. Move the cutting blade out of the way. I'm going to score it at 4 1/4, which is our regular card base fold, right? And then I'm going to take the left-hand side and score it at 2. And what that does is allows this to fold over like that and not interfere at all with this crease. And then we can make our little notch here for our gift card to easily come in and out. It looks like I forgot to grab a punch, so hang on one sec. And you could take any circle punch, maybe 1 inch or wider circle punch, center it on that little flap, and just make a little notch. So we've got a notch there for our gift cards to easily slide in and out. Now, when you are sliding gift cards in and out, it puts a lot of stress on the cardstock, so you want to use really good adhesive, either glue or tear and tape. And the reason I'm putting 2 rows of tear and tape is not because I feel like I need it, but it will shorten the pocket to make the gift card fit in there even more snugly. Slugly. It's going to fit in there slugly. Yeah. Getting tongue-tied today. I don't know why. All right, so I've got my tear and tape on there, on that flap, and I'm just going to fold it over and then make sure you burnish it really well with a bone folder so it's nice and crisp and professional, and then we'll go ahead and do that center fold as well. Okay, let's see how it works. Perfect. See how the gift card has just enough room so it's not interfering with the fold of the card then. Very cool. All right, so now what do we got to do? We got to put our pattern paper, actually goes on the back of the card. So I'm going to mat it on that Cajun Craze. I just love how fall this is without being too orangey. You know what I mean? Sometimes fall can get really orange and bright and kind of garish. And that is okay if you like bright orange, but I kind of like the muted colors of fall, like fall on a rainy day, right? It is raining outside today, but it is a warm rain and we are enjoying it. I put on my lightest jacket today, just one layer, and I was hot. So I'll take it. For the end of October in Wisconsin, that is unheard of. So, okay. Take your time, whoops, and get it centered. It slid a little bit there. Did you see that? That's what you got to watch out with liquid glue, is it can slide around on you. So just give it an extra second to fit. Cool. So that, yeah, the pattern paper is actually going on the inside of the card. And then we need one of those strips that I was talking about. And if you want to be fancy, this is the time to dry emboss this in your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. That would be really pretty. Today I'm just going to glue it down. Do be aware when you use dry embossing, like an embossing folder, it will make your card a little bit thicker. So if you were going to mail this, you could skip this step entirely. I wouldn't heat emboss, because by the time you get the gift card in there, the layers on the back and the layers on this piece, you can see it's pretty thick. And especially since we're going to be putting things on the top as well. So you could skip that piece. But if you're hand delivering it, sky's the limit. Knock yourself out. Okay, I have a feeling I cut this wrong. I did. I totally cut that wrong. Too big. So I will tell you the correct measurements. It'll be our secret. Everyone else will mess up. Our secret measurements are, whoops, helps if you hold the ruler the right side up, 2 3/4 inches by 4. And then the white or neutral on the top is 3 3/4 inches by 2.5. So you've got your matte and a step down in the neutrals. And that's going to be the front of your card. So let me bring back my table paper. And we'll do some stamping. I did a little masking on this card too. Do I feel like I can pull that off on a live video? I don't know. But it is a cool technique, so maybe I should go for it, right? So I'm stamping my main image for the focal point. And then you can see on my sample how I have a fern behind the main image, and it's not stamped over the top of it. So the way we do that is we find our stack of handy dandy Post-it notes, and we stamp our image again, our main image, on the Post-it note, getting at least some of it up where the sticky part of the Post-it note is. So see how that'll be where the sticky is? That way, when we trim it, it will stick to the cardstock while we stamp over the top of it. I'm going to cut that out. These are really flimsy, generic Post-it notes. They're driving me nuts. I won't go buy cheap Post-it notes again. Not even for masking. They're cheap and rough. You get what you pay for when it comes to paper and cardstock, don't you? All right, so I'm cutting out. I only need to cut out the side where the fern will be sitting. A little bit of a pain in the neck, but when you cut a mask, you can keep it in the stamp case and use it on many different cards for your projects until it is just completely saturated with ink, and then you can throw it out and make a new one. So it was a little time consuming to make that, but no biggie, right? And then when you put that over your previously stamped image, and the Post-it note part helps keep it in place, you'll be able to stamp right over the top. Let's see if I can not drop it this time. you'll be able to stamp right over the top without injuring the image below. Let's see, what did we get? Ah, cool! So it's in the background where it belongs. And the Post-it note is nice and thin, so you can stamp really close, but if you want it to be even closer, whoops, than it is to your image, you can just take your matching marker, because everything in Stampin' Up! Matches, matches, matches. Love it. And extend those lines if you want. Right up to the image. It just depends on how picky you are. Some days I feel picky. Some days I don't. Before I do away with this, I'm going to quickly add a little bit of Stampin' Blends marker in that crumb cake color. And it is on purpose, smearing the Blackberry Bliss ink a little bit. I just love that. I just wanted a little more subtle color. All right, what else did we do to this piece? I say we lightly because you're watching and I'm doing all the work. We stamped some backgrounds. A little bit of interference splatter background there. And then what else did we do? Oh yeah, that cool spongy blending thing with just a dirty blending brush. Wow, much nicer than just that stark white piece that we had. Okay, so that's going to go on your mat. I love good old-fashioned stamping. It is fun to have all these pattern papers and stuff, but stamps you can do in any color combo. You can keep them for years and years and they don't deteriorate. And they are by far the best bang for your buck. All right, I'm going to use tear and tape to attach only the left-hand side of our focal point to the front of our card. Isn't that pretty? It's a very sophisticated color combo, I feel like. Then I've got a little bit of this cool wavy burlap trim. That's also in the main catalog. Super fun layer of texture. And a little goes a long way, so your spool will last you forever. In fact, I would suggest splitting the spool with a friend because that's a lot of trim and you only need a little bit per card. So it would take you like 18 years to use up this trim. All right, and I put that on with glue dots so that it's very secure. And if you were to try to put that on with liquid glue, the texture here would just soak up the glue and it would fall right off the card before it even had a chance to dry. So that's why I used glue dots there. What else did we do? Oh, we have a sentiment. So I'm stamping my sentiment in my darkest color, so it's the most readable possible. And I'm going to use the You're on My Mind stamp this time. Whoa. Oh yeah, okay, I forgot. This stamp is very much up on itself, if that makes sense. See how there's more rubber down here than up here, so I got to remember to stamp a little bit lower. Should have tried it on scratch paper first because I got that one crooked. Good thing I cut out some more, huh? Let's try this again. Third time's the charm. All right. If we get it wrong this time, we're just going for it. Oh, perfect. Okay. I'm sure you guys have stamps like that that are just a little off for one reason or another. However, I will say I should have sent this back to Stampin' Up! Because they would have totally replaced it. No questions asked if I had done that. So if you ever get a stamp set like that that's just die cut just a little bit off, be sure to reach out and I will help you get that replaced. Aw, that's so pretty. I'm going to tuck that in there, maybe with a couple dimensionals. But it looks like I also did the blending brush on that too, just to tone it down a little bit. And use a a mid-tone between our dark purple and our dark rust color. A mid-tone just helps calm those things down. Cute. All right. Oh, wait. One more step. I'm a dork. We need to put a white inside to write on, right? It's a shame to cover up our pretty paper, but look at that. It covers up our smudge, no problem there. Just make sure that when you glue that down, you're gluing it where it's going to be covered by the front cover so that it's not, you know, sticking out wonky on the side there. That drives me nuts. So I'm going to use, actually I'm going to put a mat on this first. No, I'm not, because if I don't mat it, it will be sure not to stick out. That gives them a nice bright white place to write their message on. And it's small, which is good if you don't have a whole lot to say, right? There we go. We're done. Oh, I know why this one looks different. I ran the middle piece around my ink pad just to pick up some color on the edge. That's something you can do if you don't want to put another layer, another mat in there. See how much that stands out then from the edge. So either way, looks good. All right, so thanks for watching this card with me today. I enjoyed making it with you, and if you need Stampin' Up, I would be more than happy to be your demonstrator. My Stampin' Up site is lissa.stampinup.net. Don't forget the .net, it's not a .com. And my blog is embellishwithlissa.com. And I would love to see you over there too. New stuff all the time. All right, thanks for watching.